Hello, everybody. I'd like to talk about the acquisition of Allegorithmic that's been handed over to Adobe. Some people are saying this is positive, some people are saying the negative. There are about 1 million memes going out there on social media saying they're not a fan of it. Some people rarely, I seem to say that it's not good. I'm going to tell you why it's good, but actually it's for a whole nother reasons. In my personal opinion, I had a great time learning the software. I love the training. I think Wes McDermott is great. My concern is to make sure that he never ever disappears from the team. What happens when you get these acquisitions is you get teams will get let go. Somebody got a meal ticket, I'm assuming over at Allegorithmic. Sometimes when you get these small to middle size studios, some big fish will come along and try to gobble you up, and you can just pretty much say, yeah, okay, you know what, I'm retiring for this crap. I'm going to sell this off. And I'm not saying that's the case with Allegorithmic, but I'm betting that there just came a point where a paycheck looked too juicy. And of course, they have a great piece of software. It's probably one of the best softwares I've seen in a long time. My experience with Allegorithmic, though, is what I believe to be true. And a lot of people could have different opinions about this, but usually when I come and approach a company that I'm going to be doing training for, I try to create a really good relationship with them. I usually try to contact them. For instance, I've had a great contact position with Side Effects, great contact with Autodesk. I don't think there's a single piece of software that I've trained on where I've actually not contacted the actual providers like Redshift and so forth, and they've been more than awesome and kind and courteous and polite because I'm basically there to sell their product too. I'm actually promoting their product. I'm getting people to learn their product. I'm helping out in the education process of them. With Allegorithmic, it's been a different story that's been very frustrating. For instance, when they first started out, I tried reaching out to them many times through email, and I've gotten no response whatsoever. I was also just trying to get a general hello. Instead, what I got was a complete blow-off, and I was kind of shocked by this. I know a lot of them don't speak English. They're in French. They're a bunch of French programmers and so forth, but I tried very hard to reach out to them, and I got no response. One of the things I was trying to ask for was I was one of the few people that had third-party training that really helped people understand the program, and I said, you don't have no links to third-party training like, say, Side Effects does, and Side Effects has provided training links for myself. I said, you've got this awesome academy in here that's teaching this through Wes McDermott, which is great training. So it'd be very, very nice if you had like third-party training that you can link to and maybe get people interested in. You know, they might want to learn from a different source. I find my teaching methods to be very sound. I get a lot of people that say, you know, I had a hard time understanding this program, and you can just look at the testimonies of all of the people that have given responses. No response at all for 3 emails. Finally, I tried to jump on some of their live chats talking to Wes McDermott and the team, and they completely said, no, we can't talk about that, can't talk about that. Oh, no, no, no. And I was just like, what is your problem? Why can't you guys contact? And I said, well, can I contact? He's like, just try contacting. No response whatsoever as I tried many, many times. I did get finally a response from that was a threat. It was, hey, change your logo for Allegorithmic. You need to have this specific new updated Allegorithmic sign or symbol. And so it was basically a threat from their legal department telling me, get your act in order. And I was kind of like sitting there going, man, I mean, geesh, I mean, you know, I think I just changed the hue on one specific icon. So I had to go through all my marketing materials and change the actual symbol itself to the right hue. I'm talking about a hue color, not necessarily the sign itself. They didn't like the fact that I changed the hue from blue or red. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, come on. So I went through at least 2 or 3 live chats, and I got blown off completely. I would sit there, ask questions while Wes was actually giving the live chat, and there would be 0 response from Wes. He would actually, nobody else would be asking questions, and Wes would completely not respond to that. Now, I don't know if they're just trying to keep all of their training specific to the academy and they don't want competition in that. Maybe they're trying to possibly monetize the education portion of it. I don't know. But a simple yes or no response would be really appreciated in anything. So I think I finally did get a response. It took me a long time, but finally, like, we are not supporting third-party links on our website. And I was like, okay, fine. Finally, I had a friend of mine, I won't say who it is, but he happens to know one of the head leads of Allegorithmic. And I came to him humbly, and I said, look, dude, I have been trying to contact these guys. I have been trying to I don't know what the problem is. I want to work with them. I want to help them. I want to support them. I want them people to learn their program and really understand it. And his response, being someone who actually knew these people one-on-one, he said, Matt, they're a bunch of arrogant Frenchmen. Now, I don't hold any prejudice against French people. I got some amazing students that are French and so forth. But when I heard that, I kind of thought, well, I don't know what's what here, but I'm going to just stop trying to communicate with these people because obviously it's been absolutely, no dice. The other thing I have issues with Allegorithmic is the fact that it seems like they're a medium to small size company with a series of programmers that are really smart, but I don't think they have the financial needs to get this program where it needs to be. For instance, they really need to figure out how to select certain geometry to hide it. They need to do overlapping UV set type stuff that can be done in other programs such as Mari. There's a lot of little bugs. If you look into Q&As, you'll find that the programmers are basically saying, well, we can't figure that out yet, or we kind of paint ourselves into a corner. So my final conclusion on the marriage between Allegorithmic and Adobe is positive. I think Adobe is going to provide the money for them to get proper programmers in there and innovators to take the program to another level, to get it updated to the needs that the artists need it to be, specifically the things I addressed and a whole lot more. There are certain things that are a bit awkward. And I think if you throw more money at it, I have nothing against Adobe whatsoever. I find that I love their software. They've got great software, and I'm already paying Adobe on a monthly basis. So the assumption is that, if Allegorithmic gets gobbled up and they decide that it's not free anymore for teachers or instructors, I'm already paying Allegorithmic too for their program. But ultimately, the reality is whatever. I'll just take that. I won't have to pay $40 a month or something or whatever it is. But in general, like I said, I really would like to have a better relationship with Allegorithmic. If there's anybody out there from the actual software company that's interested or whatever, or even Adobe, I hope that our relationship gets better. I don't want to create. I don't have intentions of creating a war, but I really think there needs to be a handing over the baton here for this program. So a lot of you that sit there and think this is negative, this is going to go bad, it's going to become bad, I don't think so. I think Adobe has produced some very fine pieces of software. Some people might argue Autodesk would be a bad choice. I don't find that to be the case. I don't see any problem with Adobe. So I think this is a great and positive step forward. I really hope they keep Wes McDermott aboard as their trainer, and I do hope that they get the money to revamp some of their training, because a lot of their training on their academy is outdated information in regards to older versions. To me, and I've kind of can tell this because I've been doing online training for over 12 years, it feels like they're being a little bit cheap when it comes to outsourcing training for the academy itself. They're almost like, just do a little bit of this, but don't revamp any of the old stuff, which means they're on a tight budget. So obviously Adobe is going to be an increase in money. So it's only good news from here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they produce. So again, don't be negative about this. Think positive. I think it's going to be a great, just a great partnership. So that's all I got to say.